Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Hi Catherine, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here. We have so much fun 5 seconds before we go live. If anybody could really see the pre-show, they'd see all the fun that we have. It's great to be here tonight. We were talking about weather, right? We were talking about being chilly and being warm and the Gratitude Girls and all the traveling that we love doing. I think that's our favorite topic. Next to like fine foods and decor, I think traveling, right? This is just where can we go and have an experience like we were talking about. What will people do? What will we do? We'll travel, get on planes and trains to have an experience together. And that just brings me into our opening statements. I'll announce myself and where I am live tonight, and then we'll talk a little bit about why we're here. So for those of people in the audience who don't know me, I'd like to walk in the room and say, Rara is in the house. And there's a great heartfelt story to that. My name is Catherine Asaro Myers, and I'm streaming to you live tonight. I'm actually in Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada. We reside in Niagara-on-the-Lake, but I am in different cities from time to time. And I'm here with my amazing partner, and I'll let her introduce herself.
I am Lori Delperdecki and I am in a little town outside of Nashville, Tennessee.
It just sounds so glorious when you say near Nashville, Tennessee. I think of all the celebrities that the talent that comes from Nashville. Like you're really surrounded by high vibration over there, right?
I am. We actually drove by Jason Aldean's house yesterday.
It's amazing. It's nice that you can share that with us. So let's talk a little bit about some people are tuning in for the first time because we're going to be talking to our guest tonight. Why are we here? Like, why are we doing the Gratitude Girls show? Is once upon a time, those words were not very popular. When we started our show, we were pretty much trailblazing even acts of gratitude. And now I'm so happy to see that there are many companies discussing gratitude and how gratitude is important in the workplace, not only in the home. But you tell the story so well, Lori. Can you share the inception of our, shall I say, creation?
Yes. So Catherine and I are both actually part of a direct sales company. And in that company, each year they would have um a yearly international convention where thousands of people would attend, and they would always say what they would always say, like, somebody would get an award for whatever that year's theme was. And so back in 2013, the theme was gratitude. And so with that, and in that, all the distributors in the company, as well as all the customers in the company, they all vote for who they think is the best epitome of that award. And so back in 2013, our CEO would get up on stage and he would start announcing all the accolades and attributes of the person, and then he would call their name. And so I'm the techie person. I'm in the back. I've got my camera going in one hand and a video camera going in the other hand. And Catherine goes up on the stage. She says her little thing and she accepts her cute award. And then for the very first time ever, and the only time since then, they said that there was a tie. And so then they started talking about who the other person was, and eventually ended up calling my name. So Catherine and I literally met on stage in front of thousands of people. And we both are of that mindset that there's nothing that happens just by chance or coincidence. There's a reason for everything. And we always joke, like, how people say, love at first sight when they get married or whatever. Well, this was like love at first sight for best friends, for business partners. And we knew we were going to do something and something big together, but we had no idea what it was going to be at that time. But we knew it was something. And so we just decided to come up with the name. Well, we won the Gratitude Award. And we're both girls, so we decided Gratitude Girls, that's the name of our new company. And literally 2 minutes, our company was born, we got the domain, we started our business, and then we, like Jim Rohn says, say yes and figure it out later. That's exactly what we did. And now here, 13 years later, we've been doing these shows every month. All this time, we've done private coaching and training, we've done group coaching and training, we've had Gratitude Girls retreats in wonderful places and speaking on stages all over the world, and a Gratitude Girls journal, and what else?
Gee,
I think
but
so far.
we get to meet a lot of fun people. We travel together, which is really fun. We made that one of our, like, sort of our mantras. We said that we're going to travel together and host our shows in different places. And we agreed to that. And when you set your intention, you know, we got together, we both had our I am statements when I remember being up on stage and meeting you for the first time. And Lori's very humble. She won't tell you this about herself, but Lori received an award in our company for giving the most gifts. And I remember standing there wondering, I would really love to meet Lori one day, just because she was well known, obviously, in our company. And when I saw her coming up to the stage, I thought, I'm going to get to meet her. And what do you think Lori did a minute after she met me? She gave me a gift. And I still have that gift, and I look at it every single day that I'm in my bridge room at home. And you know, you think about things, you write them down, you have intentions, you set intentions, you get what you focus on. And the words that you tell yourself are the actions that take place. Whatever you do, if your body is dormant, you're going to be great at being dormant. If you're sedentary, you're going to be great at it. If you move, you're going to be great at it. We were determined to have people share their gratitude stories from all over the world. And we set our intention, and that's what happened. And we're meeting people like Robyn, and I'll go to introduce Robyn in just a moment. And because, Lori, we set this intention, we are so lucky to have all these guests and friends. These are not just guests, right? Friends come to us and we develop relationships and we make plans to meet. Doesn't matter if there's a plane ride involved or not, right? We're going to get together with Robyn. We're going to go have lunch. We're going to do all these things together. And we're going to continue to build our relationship. So thank you so much for that introduction, for those of you who don't know how we got together. But I'd like to talk a little bit now about our guest. So we have with us, first of all, a personal friend. And aside from a personal friend, I'm going to read a little bit about Robyn, and then I'll speak from the heart. So Robyn has a business partner, Cheryl Koffman, and they have a real estate business. They do the unusual, excuse me, they do the usual, I was going to say the unique, they do the usual real estate transactions and uniquely specialize in helping clients who are going through divorce or separation, because there's real estate involved. So if you're thinking that you're going through a divorce or a separation and it might feel lonely, Robyn's right there. So you have a friend in Robyn, in addition to a solution for your real estate. Robyn's own difficult divorce situation propelled her to choose to help others going through difficult times of transition. So I'll give you a minute to digest that, because if you find that it's a difficult time, or you know someone who's going through that, yeah, it just takes a minute sometimes to take a deep breath and realize that this too will be in the rearview mirror, so to speak. Robyn's personal and professional experiences are what have made her and her partner able to provide the extra understanding, and I would like to say unique service, when people are going through their own divorce and separation. There's property, there's children, there's belongings, there's emotion, there's spiritual. All of these things come into play when we're talking about separating lives. And Robyn is there to create a bridge, for lack of a better word, to bridge that gap so that going to the next transition is smooth and easy. So I'll tell you a personal note about Robyn. I met Robyn through a networking organization, and we met online because a lot of people did. And Lori and I met in person, Robyn and I met online. And you know, when you meet someone and there's a connection. Now, we might have had like a geography connection that we didn't know about. There was something. Robyn's been through a lot of things since we met, so have I, and yet our friendship has continued to develop. So we clearly are designed to have different things go on in our lives and understand the value of friendship. Because when you find someone that you really relate to, you just don't let them fly away. You find a way to stay connected with them. You find a way to talk to them even when they're busy. You find a way to invite them a year in advance to be on your Gratitude Girls show and go, oh my gosh, was that a year already? Look at how that flew. When you have a friendship with someone and you want to develop something, you look for the commonalities. So as Robyn, to be our guest today, I'd like to open by saying, Robyn deals with very difficult things in people's lives, but yet it's one of the happiest moments in some people's lives because they get to choose their home. And it might be the most expensive decision that they ever make, because how many people walk into a store and spend $500,000 or $3 million or $4 million with one salesperson? So when you think about a realtor, that realtor is your sales force for that purchase. If the purchase could be 150,000, I just picked numbers. It depends on where you live. But if you live in Toronto, it's $1 million and up. So when you are making $1 million decision, think about that other person who's right there. It's Robyn Yack. So Robyn, welcome to the Gratitude Girls. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. And so excited to be here today with both of you.
Thank you. What was it like for you today leading up to pre-show?
It was exciting. I mean, I've been very looking forward to this. And I've been promoting it, and it just shows how excited I have been. I think what you guys are doing is great. And I think that's what we all need. We all need to have gratitude in our lives. And we need to take time to be grateful and to think about what we're grateful for, because unfortunately, life does throw you many curveballs. And you really need to sit down and reflect and remember the things that you are grateful for, because that's what will get you through the hard times.
That sounds like very sage advice, especially as you're working with people who are divorced and going through transition. You're a realtor. That's a term, right? So we have American and Canadians, we have people all over the world, like wondering, like, what does that really mean? Can you share a little bit about how you opened your heart to people going through hardships and how you wanted to step in and help them?
Well, so as you said, I was divorced many years ago. And I wish I had had someone like me and Cheryl there to help guide me when I was going through this. You know, there is no Divorce for Dummies book, unfortunately. And when we got into real estate, we didn't set out that this was going to be our niche. It kind of just happened through networking, through talking to people and people getting to know us. They told us what we should be doing, what our unique selling proposition was, just by talking to us. And as it unfolded, I was shocked, because I'm the type of person that I always want to help people and give back in any way I can. And knowing now that in my current role as realtor, that I can make somebody's life easier in their transition and help guide them, not only through our services, but our community. Because one of the things that Cheryl and I provide to our clients is not only the sale of their home. We want to provide them with connections to all the types of professionals that they will need as they go through their transition. And, you know, they don't think about this, and you don't necessarily need everybody on day one, but you need a real estate agent, and you'll probably need a mortgage broker and a family lawyer, just the regular things. But you also need an accountant that specializes in divorce. You need a financial advisor. You need a life insurance person, because all of these facets of your life are now changing. And so you really should be working with these type of professionals. And unfortunately, the niche is growing so much that there are professionals in all the industries that are actually really focusing on divorcing couples.
You know, Robyn, I'm having a little bit of a chuckle to myself because I'm thinking of the brides that might be watching the show, thinking, oh, I want to watch the Gratitude Girls show. And they're thinking, you mean I need a special accountant? I need a financial advisor? Because if you need that when you get divorced, you probably wouldn't hurt to have these people on your team when you get married. So regardless of the fact that you stay married, get married, have multiple marriages, you're giving very sage advice to lifestyle choices to surround yourself with professionals. So
can I just interject for 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Because you brought up marriage, I will also say it's not only marriage as in the certificate. I would also say the same thing if you're going to choose to live common law with somebody.
Right. These decisions are big decisions. And sometimes people just walk into a situation and they find out later that they have, you know, other things that they could be looking at. And networking. It sounds like, Robyn, like you're really interested in networking with people. Do you have any other hobbies or habits that you do in the day in the life of Robyn Yack?
I'm an avid walker. I have a little puppy. Well, he's not a puppy anymore. He's 6 years old, but he's tiny. And we walk him to death. I do a lot of reading, actually listening to audiobooks while I'm walking. I go spinning every day. So I'm pretty active. I like ways of staying active and really connecting with people. I do a lot, as you said, a lot of networking. That's
Right. It sounds like it's important to you. You know, that's interesting because when people are watching our show and they're looking for gratitude, maybe a message or a story or a habit or perhaps a ritual for gratitude, it's to find some days people don't have something that they feel grateful for. It's like they're really searching, they have to dig deep, right? It's like having a bad hair day. It's like nothing's going right, and you know, something's not right with the car, and something's not right with the puppy, and something's not right with the kids, and we're going to be late for school, or I'm not making it, or this Toronto traffic. I don't want to talk about that because that's another story. But there's just something that's really hard to go dig for gratitude. Lori and I have a sort of a ritual that we do, and we write in our gratitude journal at night 5 things in detail that we're grateful for, and we wake up and we read that. So no matter what gets thrown at us during, because there's no good time of the day to find out you're going to get divorced or, you know, not going to have your common law partner. There's no time of the day that that's going to feel right, especially if it's not your choice, or even if it is. But writing these gratitude stories about ourselves, they really flex the muscle, like you talked about spinning, right? So if you want to flex what our best assets are, if we can flex our gratitude because we're in touch with it, and when these hard choices and decisions come and somebody's in front of you telling you their deepest, you know, darkest moment about moving out of their home that they love, then maybe it'll be easier for you to speak with them if they have some gratitude in them as well, right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Is there something that you can share about your day today? And I know Lori has some questions for you. In case someone wants to know, you know, what about Robyn? Something that you want to share with our audience. Maybe you've never shared before, so let it be known that it happened here in the Gratitude Girls.
Something about my day today. I had some really good networking meetings. I recently went to Costa Rica on a transformational retreat with some girls from that they run the retreat from our networking group where Rara and I met. And I connected with one of the girls outside of that retreat. So now we're back into real life. And it was just interesting because it was a very transformational retreat. It was one where we did a lot of work on ourselves. So it wasn't like a vacation and resort and whatever. We did a lot of inner working on ourselves. And it was just interesting because I found when I got back, and I've been back for about week and a half, almost 2 weeks, it was hard to transition back into real life to the people that weren't with us. And talking to her, she was going through the same thing. So it was interesting because here we all were together experiencing the same thing. We then went to our separate lives, and you feel very alone because you think you're experiencing it all on your own. And I was grateful to hear that somebody else was experiencing the same thing as I was experiencing.
Very similar to what you do in your life. You work with people through transition. So that was a retreat transition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, Lori, I know you have some questions for Robyn. Thanks, Robyn, for that insight.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, one thing I'll make a comment too is just as you go through those steps in life, whether it is through a major tragedy of divorce or loss or just change of lifestyle, right? Or even the happy ones, you have somebody in your corner that is looking out for your best interest, right? So that's I think is the biggest thing too, is because you might not want to use the accountant that you used in your marriage if you're going through a divorce, right? Because you want someone looking out for your best interest at that time, right? Or the
Absolutely.
same thing if you get in a different process of your life. So having somebody there that has those assets for you that can, connect you with those people, that's always a great thing. Another huge thing, like I know you talked about kind of like the retreat and turning that into gratitude. We do all have, things in our life, right? Where either something bad has happened and we somehow at one day found out how to get some gratitude out of that, or we just have something that happened that was great and we're grateful and thankful for. We always know that there's millions of different stories. But if you can think of just one that you would like to share with the entire world here, of anyone, so you can pick whichever one, and the same thing, it's not that anyone is different or less than or whatever, just one that you choose, the first one that comes to your mind that you choose to share with us.
So a gratitude story.
Yeah.
So that's actually a very easy one. It's very close to my heart, and it's always the first thing that comes to my mind. So as we've talked, I was divorced. I was divorced many years ago. I was divorced. My daughter is now 22, so 19 years ago. And I was single. I dated a bit at the beginning, and then I was single for about 15 years, up until about 3 years ago. My life was devoted to her and raising her, and I dated, but it wasn't the right time. And my gratitude story is my significant other, who I met 3 years ago, who has completely changed my life. He was worth waiting for. And he is my true partner that I never had. And that is something that I am grateful for. And that now, being in this new relationship, it helps me to help my clients as well, to tell them that there is there is light at the end of the tunnel. And I didn't need to find somebody to be happy. I was very happy before. I had friends. But now I am complete. And over in the last 3 years, we have purchased the house together, and we've merged our families. And that is the first thing that I am grateful every day. And I tell him that almost every day, how grateful I am for him. And his answer to me is, we're both lucky.
Aw, so
Beautiful.
sweet.
That's really adorable. That is. So you actually get to live the transition yourself too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's very important for people to see that. Trust me, I've been through hell and back. I've been through the ups and downs. I know what it's like. And so I want to be able to give back and give my knowledge and my experience. I've had the standing on the corner crying because the money wasn't in the account experiences, right? Like, it is what it is. And there's good days, but there's really bad days. And I want to be able to help them lift out of those bad days in any way that I can.
Thank you. Robyn, did you always want to be a realtor?
No, actually, so I have a business degree and a law degree. I worked in executive level roles in healthcare, and it was only about 5-6 years ago when I was in between jobs, and my business partner was also in between jobs, and we didn't know what we wanted to do, and I had a lot more free time. My daughter was away, so we decided to go back to school and take the real estate course. And I was sick of working for somebody else. I wanted to be able to be my own boss, and I love meeting people. And I did sales years ago when I was like in university and stuff. So, it was always natural for me to do that. And that's why we have a lot to offer our clients, because with my law degree, it allows me to make sure that the contracts are done properly and much, unfortunately, realtors get a bad rap. So we make sure that our clients are very well covered.
Robyn, can we talk a little bit about Toronto real estate in case we have any people looking to move into Toronto? Let's talk like for a few minutes. I know you can't make any claims, so we'll put a disclaimer out there. But can you share with us a little bit of, and we talked about $1 million like it was nothing a few minutes ago. So you want to share a little bit about real estate, what's going on here?
Well, the real estate market is definitely taken a turn since January. So just as an example, we had a house that was listed since August, and since October. It had very, very few showings from October to December. We took it off the market over the Christmas holidays, put it back up in January. We had 100 showings and 5 offers in like 3 weeks. And we sold the property, obviously, but 100 showings, it was just ridiculous. So the market is definitely changing. There's a lot more listings are up. The number of sales are up. Prices aren't as increasing as high as they were. But the average list price for a home in Toronto is about 1.1.
So how does someone watching the show look at, just, I know it's a long question, but maybe you can make it short. Someone wants to buy a home, they need $1.1 million. What do they have to earn in their financing for them to go purchase this home? The average home. We're not talking about it's an exceptional home.
Well, it's not only about earning. It's about first of all, you have to have at least 5% as a deposit to put it in an offer. Most offers need to come with a 5% deposit. And then you need to decide if you're going to put more of a down payment, because anything below 20%, you have added mortgage insurance on top of your regular mortgage insurance. So it's not only about, what you're earning, it's about how much can you put down? Do you have some liquid cash that you can put down? And unfortunately, I mean, I say this, I don't know how our kids these days are going to afford it without our help. And when we say 1.1, you're actually looking like not in Toronto proper. You're looking Richmond Hill, north of, even north. So, the kids that have grown up in the greater Toronto area are going to have to move, out of to the suburbs, far in the suburbs. And then hopefully properties will continue to rise as they have. And so that's where you build your equity so you can move further and further into the city.
So it takes some planning. So the parents and the young people, or however old they are or young they are, people who haven't purchased houses, they're in for some education, not just how much money they earn, but how much money they've saved, how they can manage their debt to ratio. There's a lot of things, because some people are not into the market, so they don't really know what's happening. So I thought it would be nice if they hear it from you.
And it's interesting because I just took my boyfriend's daughter to see a property. It's her first condo that she was looking to buy. And when you've never been in the market, you actually even know all the things that you need to think about. So if you're buying a condo, you have to think about maintenance fees. And then aside from that, you have to think about property taxes and then insurance and amortization. How long like I'm going to get a mortgage, but that's going to be 3-5 years. But what's the amortization? What does that mean? Like there's so much information. That's why you really need to reach out to the appropriate professionals to start planning that. And that's why we say, if you are looking or interested in getting in the market, then reach out to a real estate agent and reach out to a mortgage broker, because they will guide you. They will not only tell you what you can do right now, but if you want moving forward, if you can't do something now, they'll tell you how to get to where you need to be to buy a property.
So many industries, have professionals that just take it very laissez-faire. We're very lucky to have you in the industry of real estate. I used to be a real estate broker in New York. I love this business. I have it in you, either have it in you or you don't, right? When it comes to real estate. So it's one of my favorite subjects. I know it's one of Lori's favorite subjects too. And we can talk about it forever, because when it comes to moving and buying and selling, some people like us just take it very easy and very lightly. Like it's just one of those things. It's sort of like shopping. We like shopping for homes. And I really appreciate that you're so dedicated to that. Some girls go shopping for shoes, right, Lori? We go shopping for different houses. What kind of view do you want today? And then we just go and we do that. So I think it's great that you have such a dedication to this industry, and you've demonstrated that, and anyone can see that when they go and they look at your profile, your social structure profile. There's always a point in the story in our show when you're telling your story that we like to offer you the mic. You're no stranger to speaking in front of a camera, so I think that you'll be comfortable with that. We would like to offer you the opportunity to ask us a question, the same question, a different question, unrehearsed for our audience to know that. So we're putting all our trust in you, Robyn, to give us a question that we're going to be able to answer on the spot. And the show is yours for a few minutes.
Okay, well, my question is going to be for Lori. And Lori, as a grief counselor, a separation or divorce it's very emotional, and you do go through grief. What can you tell our clients that can help them through this transition?
Yeah, so a lot of times, no matter what the loss is, whether it's death or divorce, right? It's still grief. And everybody has different levels, and everybody handles it differently too. So that's one of the biggest things. But honestly, one of the biggest things that I do work with people on is finding what you can be grateful for. And so it comes back to our show and things, but truly and honestly, that's it. If you can't find anything, one of the biggest things I say is, if you can't find anything to be grateful for, because some people are at that point, right? They can't see anything. They're like, I don't have anything to be grateful for. And I'm like, if you can't be grateful for anything except for that pretty blue vase on the wall, then focus on that and be grateful for how pretty that blue is in that vase on the wall, or the beautiful shape of that vase, right? Just focus on one thing, because just that helps to lift your vibration and your energy and your spirit just a little bit, to where then maybe they can start to take that next step to look towards that next thing that they can find to be grateful and thankful for. And it's a hard thing to walk through, right? And like I said, the same thing, everybody handles it differently. So depending on how they handle it depends on where they're at and what steps, that I take with them, because I have to ask a lot of questions first. But But that's one of the biggest things that I try to get to as quickly as possible, because that's it. That just lifts their vibration and helps them so much just with that little part.
That's a great question, Robin and Lori. That's so important to focus on that. From experience, right? We have personal experiences, and then we have professionals like Lori and like Robin and Gratitude Girls with what we're talking about. And when we talk about grief, it's a subject where you just feel like the energy just hit like bottom, right? It's like, wow, that's heavy. And you never know. I always think about when people are walking past us or they're driving past us, and maybe we think, why did they do that? Just don't know what's going on in their life. It's really important to have an open mind when we speak to people. We don't know what they're going through at the moment. We can't assume that they're having a great day and they just made a sale or they just had a new something happen. We don't know. So that's one of those sort of sneaky emotions that come up even when it's not new. It still comes up. And one of the things that I like to sort of consult on is to remember the really good times with the people that you're grieving. Hold those memories, the legacies, the moments that they would want you to remember, and live them, let them live. Put oxygen into those ideas so they're not forgotten. The idea, the notion, the experience, something that you did with that person. And perhaps that's something you could write in your gratitude journal tonight. Write something that you remember about someone that's no longer with us and how grateful you are for them, so that when you wake up in the morning and you read that, you're putting this back out there, and that moment is living again. So if it's a family member, a friend that is no longer with us, and we're thinking, well, it's been so long ago, it doesn't affect me, I beg to differ. The vibrations are there. So writing in your journal to keep these wonderful memories alive. When you go back into your Gratitude Girls journal and you read about that, imagine going back a year later and remembering that wonderful thing that you wrote about those people that are no longer with us and how you just brought them right into the room. That Gratitude Girls journal could, in fact, bring those wonderful experiences to us. It's such a great question, Robin. Thank you so much for that. Even though it's heavy, it really has depth. So there's meaning to that. Yeah. So Robin, thank you. Is there anything that you would like to share before we do the next segment of our show? Anything that you'd like to share that has come up for you during the show tonight that you didn't expect to come up, that you somehow, some epiphany, something, some thought, and you would like your audience to hear this from you? Your 5 seconds of fame to your audience.
Look, I mean, like I said today, this morning, I went to an appointment that was rescheduled, and I got there and they didn't reschedule it properly. And I was like, so like, what a time waster. But you know what? Like, things happen. You got to let things roll off your back. You gotta, I always try and say, you got to look at the glass is half full, not half empty. And look, it's spring and the sun is soon going to be out there. Look, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel in anything we do. So I just think that that's, sometimes we overlook that, and sometimes it's hard to see, but just take a breath and just, look for the rays of sunshine.
Thank you. So we actually had $1 million conversation tonight, right? Like a $1.3 million chat, like it was nothing. Like some people talk about their business and they're looking at $500 or $1,000. We're talking about $1 million and up. This is what Robin deals with. So when you want to talk about $1 million and plus, you want somebody who has a law degree and a business degree, and someone who has a business partner, and someone who's got their eyes on everything. Robin, you make me feel secure right now, and I'm not looking for a house, but you know what? I think I'd like to have the conversation with you anyway, because it's just a fun thing to do. So let's talk real estate when the show is over. Thank you so much. Please hang out with us. Lori, this is so much fun having conversations with people from all walks of life, with all these degrees and experiences, Basically, here's what I heard from Christo. He said, you want to know how to have a really good free coaching session? Invite smart people on your show and ask them questions and get free advice. So hashtag kudos to Christo. If you don't know who he is, we have a lawyer in the house, a realtor in the house. Now's our opportunity to ask her any question we want. And basically, we have amazing free coaching advice from Robyn, as we have for you. So I thought that was kind of fun, because when we do our show, we're looking to feature the story of gratitude. But at the same time, we got some real estate advice. So that was pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And it's just important that people realize that you don't need to be stuck wherever you are, be it in your career, be it in your life, right? I wasn't happy in my career. I wasn't happy in my life. You don't need to be stuck at any age. Doesn't matter. Trust in yourself, and you will get through it, and change is good.
Thank you. Robyn, do you have any current listings?
We just sold something. We have a couple coming to market that we're working on right now.
Good. When you do, send them over to me.
I will for sure.
Okay, super. Okay, we're not going to do business on the show. So, Lori, what did you think? Was this fun tonight or what?
Absolutely. It was fun. Robyn, thank you so much for being with us. And for everybody listening, if you want to be just like Robyn and be featured on our show, we do have over a year waiting list. I think we're at about a year and a half right now. But go to facebook.com/gratitudegirls and hit message there. Send us your gratitude story. Let us know your contact information so we can get back with you. And we are here the fourth Tuesday night of every single month, 13 years and counting. So make sure to tune in and come see us, and we will see you next time.
Good night. Thanks for coming, Robyn. Lori, thank you so much, and to our audience. Ciao.